We are at the beginning of a profound economic transformation driven by the environmental transition.
Science-based targets for planetary boundaries can really just guide investments. If you in the business sector want to stand firmly on a solid floor of evidence, well, you got it. Our journey is not only about decarbonizing the world economy in terms of a net zero, fossil fuel-free world economy in 30 years' time. Within the carbon budget, we have to keep the resilience in the other planetary boundaries intact.
Lombard Odier was very much at the forefront of developing so-called portfolio alignment techniques, including implied temperature rise implications of a portfolio. One of the core things we need to do is to make sure that above and beyond the prospect of carbon offset markets, that it can flow to emerging and developing economies.
We must ensure that when we think about capital allocation and transitioning to net zero, we need to emphasize the hard to abate sectors. Right now, the hard to abate sectors like cement, like green steel, like natural climate solutions are not receiving the capital that they need to.
Food and agriculture system today is the biggest driver of both loss of natural capital and violation of planetary boundaries. We have to drive innovations, whether it's shifting away from resource-intensive protein production, shifting global patterns of supply. We then need to add on top more circular approaches to the management of the food system.
You asked me the question to reflect on where I thought the investor community was in understanding the scale and severity of planetary boundaries. One of the tools I've been using to try and sort of elevate these issues into the Sustainable Development Goals, which is essentially the outcomes that governments are trying to seek. So using those SDGs as a way of trying to motivate investors to understand kind of their interaction with these issues. Nature-based solutions, they help biodiversity loss, they help climate change. I mean, there's so many win-wins in here. So we need to leverage the momentum that we've got around COP to bring all of this story together and get investors to be equally passionate and action-orientated.
This is absolutely a critical step because the world expects that the finance sector should lead on the transition to net zero. This is an exciting time to be in finance, and frankly, the world is watching, and we must act.